How goes it, guys? We are back and we're talking about the situation between South Africa and the USA. Now, as a alleged South African, since I was born and raised here, I say alleged because some people still disagree with that statement because they struggle mentally. But, you know, I'm going to talk about the situation, hopefully in an unbiased way. If I do come off as biased, I'm not trying to. I'm actually trying to stay neutral, which is hard, but it is just how it is. That's the situation about all of this. So let's go on and start with South Africa. First of all, they signed a bill that, I'm going to simplify it for you guys, means they can take land without paying the person. Now, the rest of the bill says they can take land without paying the person if it's in public interest. So that's like schools, hospitals. That's basically all we have in public interest in South Africa. We don't have things like public transport. We do, but not in the conventional sense. Where other countries have these huge tubes called fucking trains that move on this metal rail, we have taxis. Now, as a South African, I must say, fuck you if you're a taxi driver, because you are an annoyance on the road. You don't know how to drive, and you probably bought your license. Now that that's out of my system, we have taxis. It's this huge minivan where they put a bunch of people in, as much as they can, and then the guy drives and he takes your money if he drops you off somewhere. That's the taxis in South Africa. We have Uber and a lot of Uber clones, but mostly taxis are being used. Alright, and it's not very safe. Like I said, most of them don't have actual driver's license. They paid for it, but that's a different story. I don't care about that. I'm not going to bore you with that. We had trains, but most of the things that make the train operational, were stolen. They stole the rails, they stole the train parts, they stole the trains. That's just how it goes. We still have one train active, and that's a Gautrain, but it's more of a means to fun than actual means of transportation. So we don't have any of that, technically. So we can't classify that as public interest, because that's not happening in South Africa. So, yeah, the USA saw that. By the USA, by the way. So the USA saw that, and they were like, "Ain't gonna happen. We're gonna stop funding to South Africa." And we said, we don't give in to bullies. Now, I don't know any situation where a bully has given me money for continuous years and then said, "I'm not giving you money," and I went, "Fuck you, you're a bully." But in this situation, I guess it still does not fucking apply. But yeah, we went on, and they said they're going to cut off funding, and we said, great, we don't need the billions of dollars you sent to us. Thank you very much. Now, 17% of that went to HIV and other related things to that sickness. But unless other people invest in that, I don't know where the rest of the non-17%, I'm not doing math right now, fucker, non-17% comes from. But unless South Africa decided that only 70% of the money they get go there, which is a highly plausible explanation, and the rest is pocketed by someone. I'm not going to say who, but I'm going to say Nkandla. But yeah, that's basically what happened there. They said they didn't need it. In 2002, they paid off most of our debt with a few $100 million. And we still say we don't need it. Now, in all honesty, South Africa is at a stage where it should be able to supply itself with the funds needed for development, for just keeping us from being a fucking rubbish country. But like I said, corruption, they take the money, it doesn't work. We are in more debt now than we were back when the USA paid off our debt. Explain, please. Now, also coming to in the public's interest, I know for a fact it can't be for electricity. We have a lot of plants that are non-operational because they weren't kept in working condition with the money that the people of South Africa supply. So yeah, Also, I want to clarify something. Load shedding isn't us trying to save energy as it's been told to the rest of the world. It is literally our infrastructure for electricity cannot support supplying the entirety of South Africa at the same time. So they set up a grid system so the infrastructure can handle it. That's what load shedding is. Good, you know that now. So it's not saving energy, they're talking cuck, man. But yeah, they also signed a bill, the USA, that allows South Africans to go there as refugees if they've been discriminated against or their land's been taken without compensation. Now, first of all, that's not going to work. You know, people have put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into these lands and bought them and worked on them and cultivated them into the lands they are now. They weren't there back then. There's a lot of effort that went into that. So they're not just going to leave it. They're probably going to die on that farm if someone wants to take it. So that's not going to happen. Secondly, this act is not discriminating yet, in the sense of no one's land's been taken. So you can't say it's discriminating against someone if nothing has happened yet. It's like saying that guy hit me without him being alive. You know, it's not happened yet. So I get it that Trump wants to stop it before it even starts, but you know, first see where it goes before you try and play all your cards. In the sense of discrimination, now according to the exact definition of discrimination, the BEE policy, let's talk about that. So according to the BEE policy, it is not discriminating. It's rather empowering everyone that's not white. Now, according to the exact definition of discrimination, that is discrimination, but only slightly, because you know, in South Africa we have the Equality Employment Act or whatever. It's basically where everyone needs to be represented in your company. You know, like you have overseas. You have women, you have men, you have disability people, people with disabilities. You've got all that, and that is great. It's working out fine for you. Now we have another policy, like I said, the BEE policy, that works on top of that policy, which basically specifies that a certain percentage of the workers should be non-white, and it's normally more than the majority, which is like upwards from 50%. If my number's not correct, it might be. Someone fact check me on that, please and thank you. So that's not just in the work environment, that's in the school environment, the university environment. Everything you need to make your life good has a few steps you need to take. So as a white male in South Africa, I don't classify as a white male today. I classify as a YouTuber. So I'm just talking out of the sense of logic. If you have it, you'll understand. In the sense of a male person wanting to be employed somewhere, you have to get through the Equality Act or policy, whatever you want to call it. So there's less spaces available for you because you're a white male. There also needs to be black males, you know, all of these other categories. So there's less spaces available to you according to your merit, not according to, of course, your sex, race, pink, purple, whatever the fuck you are. It's basically just according to your merit, but there has to be a slight diversity, you know, according to sex and using your full body. But okay, that was me, according to disabilities. But then the other act plays an act where it's, if you're a white male, it's even less likely that you're going to get in, because you know there's a specific percentage of people that must be non-white, and there's a specific people that must be from disabilities and women and all of these things, and then you come in last through the door and you've got not a lot of chance, you know, because no one cares about your merit in the BEE rule, or BEE policy. They care about, of course, your race, and that's all. So it's already really hard. So I can see why that is discriminating, but you don't name it. You're acting like the whole taking land thing is the discrimination part. Now, South Africa is no stranger to discrimination, as you've probably heard in the histories. Apparently, my ancestors from way back did some shitty things, but I'm 21 right now. I did not do any of those things. So, as the new generation starts to go into the work, you would think they would let that policy, or all of the, or well, go to school and all the things. Think they'll let that policy fade away a bit, but it's not. it's still there. So yeah, that is slight discrimination. I don't care what you say. It's literally the definition. It's like setting you back a few steps because of your skin, and then that is discrimination. So yeah, that's the weird little racial talk on this episode. Done. So that's happening, and yeah, that's all I'm going to talk about. By the way, I also want to include this little small fact about a group called the EFF. I researched what a genocide is thanks to the farm murders. Oh yeah, by the way, if I haven't mentioned it, farm murders are a thing here. A lot of people died because they are farmers, Buddha, and apparently it's not important according to the South African government, because we have such a high crime rate country that everything is dismissible, even the mass killing. It's a mass killing of a specific group of people because of their land and stuff like that. So yeah, we have that, but the government does very well in hiding it because they don't want the rest of the world to know that this is actually happening here, and they also deny that it's happening here. But yeah, that's another thing there. This guy on Cape Talks, fuck you, also said the rumored genocide. Now, I would say it is a rumored genocide. It isn't a genocide to the exact definition. That's why I call it a mass killing. I don't think enough people have died for it to become a genocide. I think it's like 0.1% of the Afrikaner populace, but that's not including the Buddha populace, which is even smaller, so it's a bit more. So it's not a genocide, it's just a mass murder of a specific group of people because of what they own. So yeah, also, speaking of genocide, the EFF. I googled this on the screen, please and thank you. If you cause mental harm to someone of a specific group with purpose, that's genocide. That's considered genocide. So when you was chanting in the streets and saying kill the boer, kill the farmer, genocide, bitch. I'm just joking. It can be classified as genocide, but I mean, what are they gonna do? They can't do anything now since the court case, so they can't commit genocide anymore. Any case, yeah, that's all I'm going to talk about. There is a lot of things going on in South Africa, but to be honest, the taking land without compensation thing is not the worst one as of yet, because it hasn't done anything yet. There's a lot of other things that need priority over that before you start moving on to caring about that policy, of course. But yeah, like I want to end this video off with, I have no fucking attachment to this country. I don't care one bit for a piece of land. I have no sentimental value in a piece of land. The only thing I have value in is the people in the land, my friends, my family. That's all I care about. That's all that has value to me that came from South Africa. I feel like nothing else matters to me, in all honesty, in this land. I have probably no attachment to it, but I'll probably see in the future, if I can hopefully get out of this country, how I feel. But I feel like if I live in a place that has a working government, a working transportation system, working electricity, and all of these things, that I will not miss South Africa a single day in my fucking life. I will miss the people in it. And that's all I'm gonna say about this situation. So yeah, fuck you, government. Oh, I can't say that. Any case, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.